A tour bus driver killed. What may have caused this packed bus to flip and how the passengers are doing today. Plus, let the voting begin. The long line seen across the valley to early voting sites and what you can expect to see the presidential candidates back here in Las Vegas. And
the older campuses need the upgrades in electrical and HVAC. They need computer networks.
Saving our schools, the push to get out the word on the ballot question number 2 and how much money will go to campuses in need.
Now, Nevada's first choice for news. This is Channel 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
Hello and thanks for being with us. I'm Chris Saldaña. A Las Vegas tour bus driver is dead and all of his 48 passengers injured after a crash that happened last night. Officials think the driver might have had some sort of medical episode. This all happened just before 8 o'clock in the evening in Arizona, about 40 miles southeast of Las Vegas on US 93. Shree Harvin talked to workers and relatives of this driver. She's live at UMC where several folks are recovering. Shree?
Well, Chris, we also talked to family members and friends tell me that the driver was 52-year-old Ron Sparks of Las Vegas. As you can imagine, family members absolutely heartbroken. They tell me that Ron leaves behind a wife, 3 sons, and 9 siblings. But I want you to take a look at the video of the bus hours after it crashed after some sort of medical condition. Arizona's Department of Public Safety says the driver lost control traveling about 720 feet on the right shoulder. This huge Silver State Trailways operated bus went through some ravines, over some large hills, just throwing passengers all over the place.
Shortly after the crash and the vehicle had come to a stop, the driver appears to have died just minutes after the crash had ended. People were thrown about in this, so there are several people that probably were not wearing their seatbelt.
8 passengers were airlifted to UMC and Sunrise Hospital with serious head injuries and broken bones, and dozens of people were also transported to the local Kingman Regional Hospital in Arizona. Officials there say the passengers were international tourists that were returning from a Grand Canyon day tour. They were staying at various Las Vegas casinos and hotels. By the way, the preliminary investigation suggests that the driver had a medical episode, but until the medical examiner confirms that, investigators are trying to see if they can rule out whether or not there was some sort of mechanical failure by that tour bus. Of course, we'll keep you posted on the investigation and the latest from family members. Reporting live at UMC, Shree Harvin, 8 News Now.
All right, Shree, thanks so much. And over the years, there have been several crashes involving some tour buses. In June of 2011, former Miss Nevada, Tracy Rogers, she slammed into a tour bus in Moapa after the driver made some sort of illegal U-turn. She was seriously hurt and several passengers on board that bus, they were also injured. And in October of 2010, 2 people were killed in Kingman, Arizona. A small tour bus drifted off the highway and rolled several times. The bus was headed from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon. And in January of 2009, 7 Chinese tourists were killed when the bus they were on flipped near the Hoover Dam. The NTSB says the driver was trying to fix a problem with the door before this crash happened. Metro is investigating a deadly motorcycle crash. This happened last night on Boulder Highway. Police say a Mercedes pulled out into the path of a rider, ended up slamming into the side of the car. A nurse who happened to be near the crash scene, she tried to help out, but we're told the rider didn't have a pulse. This is Metro's 90th traffic-related death so far this year. Tonight, a candlelight vigil will be held for local teens killed behind the wheel. The ceremony marks the end of Teen Driver Safety Week. Events have been going on all week with the goal of encouraging young drivers to be safe on the road. According to the World Health Organization, car crashes are the leading cause of death amongst teens. Tonight's candlelight vigil, it starts at 7 o'clock at the amphitheater at UNLV. They are coming back. Presidential candidates are getting ready to head back to Las Vegas. Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan will attend a rally at the Henderson Pavilion. This is all scheduled for Tuesday. President Obama is also heading back into town. He's going to be attending a grassroots event that's scheduled for Wednesday night, but the exact location still hasn't been released. This is part of his America Forward tour. Both candidates were just in Las Vegas last month. And early voting, it started today here in Nevada, and voting sites, they have been swamped. We want to go ahead and show you some of the lines and what it's looked like at different locations. This is the Albertsons at Durango and Flamingo. Some people had to wait up to an hour to cast their ballots. It was the same thing at a voting site on Centennial and Azura. Since 2000, more people have voted before the election day. In 2008, close to 390,000 people voted early. This year, the county is hoping to break 400,000. Early voting sites will be open for the next 2 weeks at locations across the valley. For more information, you can go to 8newsnow.com, and the key word there is vote. And if or when you do go and vote, you're going to be asked to vote on ballot question number 2. The property tax measure would be used to improve older schools in the Clark County School District. Today, supporters of this ballot, they went door to door explaining how the money will be used and how it will impact a family's pocketbook. Clorinda Fontano is a parent. She says she understands times are tough, but students across the valley need help.
The students in these older schools where the air conditioning isn't up and running well, where they only have 2 working toilets in the bathroom, you know, those needs of the students at those older campuses really are just as pressing as individual family needs in the valley.
According to Nevada's former First Lady Sandy Miller, the county would receive a maximum of $120 million if the measure does pass on the November ballot. A litter of kittens killed. The unlikely suspects now facing felony animal cruelty charges. Plus, finding forever homes, the help being offered to pets in need across the valley, and how you can be part of saving their lives.
You're watching 8 News Now Weekend Edition with Chris Saldaña. The news for Southern Nevada is now.
2 11-year-old boys have been taken into custody after police say they killed 6 newborn kittens. We do want to warn you, some of these pictures you're about to see are disturbing. Metro says the boys hit the mother cat with rocks while she was giving birth. A clinic where the litter were eventually taken tells 8 News Now one of the kittens was partially decapitated. The boys now face felony charges for animal cruelty. The down economy and housing crisis has left more pets without a loving home. Shelters like Little Friends Foundation hope to change that. It took part in the Family Fur and Fun Festival. Besides some fun, pet-friendly activities, there's some obstacle courses there. Families also had the chance to learn about how they can help save the life of an animal in need. That does include maybe fostering or even adopting or even buying an animal.
I consider every dog a rescue dog. Whether you purchase a dog from a breeder, whether you get it from a pet store, whether you get it from a rescue, if you have it in your home, you've rescued it.
Money from today's festival benefits the Little Friends Foundation. It's one of the valley's no-kill shelters. Paying it forward, the act of kindness that is inspiring people across the country to do more to help others. Plus, Football League folding, the reasons you won't be seeing the Locos playing anymore this year later in sports.
Now, Nevada's first choice for news. This is Channel 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
An act of kindness is inspiring people across the country. Deborah Durrell, she's one of them. She was shopping at Oregon Target the other night when a customer's credit card was denied. That's when an anonymous stranger stepped up and paid the $161 bill. Family was so grateful they used the little money they had to help pay Durrell's bill. She did the same for the next person in line, and the giving didn't stop there.
And the next person came through the line, which I believe was the 2 teenage girls. They're teenagers, and what would have I done as a teenager? Score! I wouldn't have thought of passing it on to the next person, but they didn't.
Score! Durrell shared her story with her Facebook friends and on the Target fan page as well. It has more than 200,000 likes and more than 10,000 comments, some pledging to pay it forward the next time that they are out and about. We want to congratulate someone from the 8 News Now family. Ted Florendo, our weekend weathercaster, is a happy father, proud father, new father that is. He and his wife Jennifer welcomed this little beauty, Harlow Olivia Florendo, this past week, 9 pounds 5 ounces. We're told they say she's going to be tall just like her daddy. He says, though, he hopes she's the next soccer team goalie, maybe along the lines of Hope Solo. So congratulations to Ted and Jennifer and their newest addition there. Sherry joins us now to look at our forecast.
Is she the cutest little thing you've seen? Oh, and of course that's why I'm here today, is because Ted's taken off to do some diaper duty, if you will. And then Darren Miller will be in tomorrow. So we're giving Ted a little bit of a break. Yeah. Congratulations to the Florendos. And she is a beautiful little baby. Alrighty, let's look outside. Hopefully you'll see some beautiful shooting stars. Tonight is the peak of the Orionid meteor shower. Today was absolutely gorgeous. Let's get to our highs around neighborhoods. And then we're going to start to feel things shake as we get some big winds coming in late tomorrow. into the early part of the week. A lot of mid to upper 80s today. Absolutely beautiful. We're backing off just a couple of degrees right now as we head through our 5 o'clock hour. We're already starting to feel a little bit of a southwest breeze, but those winds will start to increase a little bit tonight and definitely into Sunday. Monday and Tuesday look downright windy, so put those in your plans, especially if you plan on being outdoors. Mount Charleston's 57 right now, 81 in Boulder City, and we've got some 60s and 70s up there in Lincoln County. Beautiful at the lake, but tomorrow is going to be very tricky for boating. Alrighty, let's talk about the Orionids. It does peak tonight. It's as the Earth passes through the comet Halley's Comet, as it does every October, and it's the stream of all that debris, cosmic debris, where we get those shooting stars. If you look to the east after midnight into the constellation of Orion, it's your best chance to see all the blazing trail of meteorites. It really is a beautiful sight, and because we don't have too much of a moon out there, should be pretty good viewing. Alrighty, we are looking at this developing low pressure, which is going to drop further south tomorrow and Monday. This is going to be the change for us, the cooler, windy change. And for all you folks who've been wanting to dig out the sweaters, this might be your chance, as the afternoon highs will definitely get cooler. In the meantime, we've got a southerly flow starting to develop, and then that might even bring in enough moisture to the southern Sierra tomorrow, and even over into northwest Arizona for a slight chance of showers over the higher elevations. That's the remnants of what was Hurricane Paul way back at the beginning of the week. High wind watch for 60 to 70-mile-an-hour winds late tomorrow into Monday. So we are looking at big winds. No wind advisories for the valley so far, though, here in Las Vegas. Most of the country is pretty quiet. The storm track is up north, but that jet stream is starting to dip a little further south across the desert southwest over the next 48 hours, and you're going to feel a difference. Tonight, southerly breezes, morning lows in those low 60s. Tomorrow, well, we should be right around 79. I think we're going to be somewhere around 80 to 82. But as that low pressure moves over our area at the beginning of the week, look how the numbers change. We drop to low 70s, and we will be looking for temps to stay in those 70s next week. And again, we're talking 35-plus mile-an-hour winds by Monday into Tuesday. So, Chris, a little bit of a fall change, especially for folks who've been waiting for it. They love it.
All right, Sherry, thanks so much. Scott Bemis joins us now with a look at sports, and you're saying the Locos no more.
Locos no more, yeah, talking some football. Not a great day for the UFL in general and for those Locos. Why you won't be seeing the Las Vegas franchise until at least the spring coming up. Plus, battle in Boise, the first half mistakes that doomed the Rebels against the Broncos, and a courageous decision. The recent announcement that made this boxer's fight last night one to remember. Sports is next.
From 8 News Now, sports with Scott Bemis.
Hey there, everybody. Well, with the debts continuing to pile up and the attendance struggling badly this year, the United Football League, which includes the Locos here locally, has decided to suspend operations midway through its season. The league has been struggling to stay afloat for a while now, having racked up over $100 million in debt over its first 3 seasons, and reports say the players and coaches are still waiting to get paid this year. The league says it hopes to finish this season in the spring and then resume fully financed operations next fall, but it sure doesn't look promising for that right now.
We all thought that they had the money coming in, and I think they had plans for it. It just fell through, and so the financing wasn't there to continue. Whether we start again or not, I don't know right now. I don't know. At the end of the day, you know, this is a very expensive business to get into, and, you know, the business model has to be better. Quality of the play on the field and the quality of the players and the coaching, it is good, and everybody says that. It's just a matter we have to have better business model.
Well, Fossil himself says he hasn't been paid yet this year, and he's actually pumped some of his own money into the league to try and keep it going. Well, college now, and after blowing a 21-point lead in a loss to rival Reno last week, Rebels needing to bounce back quickly if they wanted to have any chance at Boise State today. Rebels 28-point dogs in this one, still trying to snap that 18-game road losing streak. You figured UNLV needed to get some breaks. In first quarter, here it is. Bronco backup QB Grant Hedrick came in for a play, puts it on the ground, but the Rebs could do nothing with it. Bronco offense wasn't dominant, but they did have their moments. DJ Harper from 10 yards out at 6-zip. And then we know about those tricky Boise State Broncos. Add 2 more to the tally on the 2-pointer, 8-0. Now 11-0 when the Rebels are driving, but Nick Sherry picked off. Nice pick by Jarrell Gavins. Broncos shut out an opponent in the first half for the 5th straight game. Ensuing drive, big pass sets up Jay Ajaji for the short touchdown. It's 18-0. And the route is on. It's 25-0 because moments later, Marcus Sullivan puts it on the ground. Gavin scoops it up. He's in the end zone. Rebs only threw for 71 yards in the game. Now, the only story in the second half really was whether the Rebels would score. Great opportunity here, but the nice throw is dropped in the end zone. Nolan Cohorson missed a short field goal. They would finally get on the board, though. Hedrick back in there for starter Joe Southwick. Wish he'd just play the whole game because he was making plays happen for the Rebs. Kenneth Perry gets the lone Rebel score. Then late in the fourth, hate to see this, Sherry gets drilled. He'd be noticeably limping on the sideline. Boise now won 41 of 42 on the blue turf. They win this one 32-7. Meantime, in South Bend, BYU trying to pull the upset of 5th-ranked Notre Dame. One of Riley Nelson's 2 TDs gives the Cougs a 7-point lead in the second. Move ahead to the fourth now. It's now 14-10 BYU. George Atkinson on the reverse finds the end zone. Irish take the lead. All right, desperation time for the Cougs. Nelson, can he make something happen? No, it's picked off. Irish move to 7-0. They're off to their best start in a decade. They get Oklahoma next week. Finally, sometimes sports is at the forefront of social change, and along those lines, something happened last night in Florida that had me asking, did you see that? The WBO's 4th-ranked featherweight, Orlando Cruz, recently became the first active boxer to publicly declare his homosexuality, and he fought for the first time Friday night since coming out. He got a unanimous decision win over Jorge Pazos and was cheered by the crowd. He's gotten support from a bunch of people, including fellow Puerto Rican Miguel Cotto, since making his announcement. It says his goal now is to get a world title shot. Pretty cool right there.
Definitely made a huge impact on the LGBT community as well.
He says he feels more at peace now, and I can see why.
Good for him. Thanks a lot. Barking good time, the world record these pooches are trying to break when we come back.
Now, Nevada's first choice for news. This is Channel 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
A family attacked the housing incident that may have provoked a masked gunman to open fire in this home. Join us for this story and more tonight at 6:30. Before we go, it's a world record only a dog lover would try to break. All right, 83 pooches in Australia trying to set a world record of the loudest collective bark. The current record's held by 76 dogs. That's here in the United States, and that was set back in 2009. And one of our floor crew guys says, is the world record for barking or a world record for cuteness? So we'll let you decide. That's it for us. Thanks for being with us on this Saturday. We'll see you back here at 6:30. If you have some time, head on out to the polls. Early voting does start today, and it wraps up in just about an hour and a half. Have a good one.